So Apple finally came out with their 2020 13-inch MacBook Pros, and people are pretty disappointed. There were a lot of rumors about things that Apple would do with these machines that didn't end up happening. One of the main ones that I was really excited about was the possibility of a 14-inch display, similar to what Apple did with the 16-inch MacBook Pro. By making the bezels a little bit thinner, Apple would be able to incorporate an extra inch of screen real estate, which isn't something that ended up happening. Mini LED technology was also something people were looking forward to seeing in this MacBook Pro, which would basically mean that the blacks would be a lot deeper and the display quality would be a lot better too. That's also something that didn't end up happening. Now, one of the welcomed changes to the new MacBook Pro is a switch to the scissor switch keyboard. Now, this is in line with the 16-inch MacBook Pro. You get better key travel, you get a physical escape button, and you also get the inverted T layout for the arrow keys. These are all welcomed additions, and we're happy that Apple chose to do that, making it fairly consistent throughout the MacBook lineup now. In terms of processing power, Apple is claiming up to an 80% boost in terms of processing ability. Now, there are two different configurations that Apple is offering for the processors, mainly the 8th generation and the 10th generation Intel processors. Now, the 8th generations start at $1299 and the 10th generation processors start at $1799. So you're looking at a fairly big bump in terms of price for the 10th generation. Some of the things that the 10th generation processor will offer you is upgradability. So with the 8th generation Intel processors, you're limited to the amount of RAM that you can upgrade it to, and you're also limited to the amount of hard drive space that you can upgrade it to. With the 10th generation, you get a lot more options, but then you're paying a lot of extra money as well. Another welcomed addition is a bump from the base storage capacity. So we're not getting the usual 128 gigs of SSD space on the base model. Instead, they've upped it to 256 gigabytes, which is a welcomed addition because 128 really isn't that much. 256 is really nice, and you can upgrade that all the way up to 4 terabytes of space with the 10th generation processor. RAM still starts at 8 gigabytes, unfortunately. You can upgrade it all the way up to 32 gigs now, and Apple is saying you'll get about a 30% performance increase with the new type of RAM that they're using in their laptops. Apple also claims that the graphics card has a lot more graphics processing power as well, giving it a significant bump from the previous generations. So bottom line is, would I get it? Probably not. Now, a lot of the changes that we were hoping would happen didn't end up happening. So I'm guessing Apple is probably going to leave these changes until their next refresh of the 13-inch MacBook Pro. Things like a 14-inch display, slimmer bezels, hopefully upgraded speakers are all things that we were looking forward to, but unfortunately didn't end up happening. Processing power has increased significantly, but I would bet that a lot of the people going for the 13-inch MacBook Pro aren't necessarily going for it for the processing power. They might just need it for daily tasks like going to lecture and things like that. So it probably isn't a worthwhile investment at this point, and I wouldn't purchase it, but there are some welcomed additions like the scissor switch keyboard and bumps in the base storage capacity. So let's see what Apple kind of chooses to do in the future with the 13-inch MacBook Pro. Hopefully a couple of the upgrades that we were anticipating do end up happening in the future. I'd really like to see the switch to mini LED technology and also slimmer bezels with the 14-inch screen. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like content like this, feel free to subscribe and hit the like button if you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to hit them down below and I'd be more than happy to answer them. Take care.